All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening to all of you. On behalf of MSSI, I welcome every one of you for this India MS Day event. And as you all know that every year on this India MS Day, we announce the India MS Person of the Year. So today we have gathered for that. And after that, it will be followed up with a very lively chat session with the inspiring MSPs, which will be followed up with that. So without wasting any of the time, let's start with the welcome address from our National Secretary, Mr. Sandeep Cheknis. Over to you, Sandeep, sir.
Thank you, Sangeet. And I welcome all of you for this is important occasion in during the whole of our India MS Day month. Actually, as all of you must be knowing, however, for those who are new, I will just sort of inform that we have been celebrating this India MS Day since 2016 for actually spreading awareness all across. And this has been very successful. And we have been actually in every year we are growing, or our grandeur of celebration is growing, and everybody is actually coming together for celebration. We are celebrating first Sunday of February month as India MS Day. We have been celebrating World MS Day for really long period, but considering India's climate, we decided that it will be nice to have India MS Day. I think it was suggestion from Jyoti Ronge long time back. And that time we started onwards, we started celebrating this. In fact, this brings great synergy amongst all our chapters. Currently, we have 9 chapters, and all of them are celebrating across India. So it creates a big impact as far as general awareness is concerned. And that is what is our purpose in case of celebration of any of these special events like World MS Day or India MS Day. And this year, of course, every chapter has done it a great thing. And I'm really happy to congratulate all of you, all the chapter heads, for doing their great thing, great bit in celebration of this World MS Day as a grand event. I welcome today for all our national office bearers. We have Mamta Gupta, Vice President. We have Sanket as Joint Treasurer, Renuka as Joint Secretary. We have all the chapter heads, and amongst you, many of you even participant in India MS Day candidates. So regarding that, I am leaving it to other people who are taking it chair after me. And with this, I welcome all of you, and I hand over back to Mamta or Sanket. Who should hand over? Who is taking over? Conducting, I think Mamta is conducting.
I'll take over.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sandeep, sir. Javed, can we have that? Share the presentation, please. So I'll be doing the announcement of the India MS Person. Now, this year we had just 3 nominees for the India MS Person. That is the 2023 year. So, and trust me, I mean, all of them are their stars in their own right, and they have shown remarkable resilience in bouncing back from MS and also doing a lot for other MSPs and thus working for the cause of MS. Now, this year, selecting India MS Person, even though there were only 3 in number, was a very tough decision. And it was a nail-biting finish in the evaluation process of these nominees. But unfortunately, we had to declare only 1 winner. So here are the nominees. Next slide. The first one is Jaya Matthew. Javed, the next slide. Yeah. Jaya Matthew. So Jaya represents MSSI Bangalore chapter as the Joint Secretary, and she is also a National Youth Wing member. She leads the national project on the inclusion of MS in health insurance. She has also worked on sensitizing people on the challenges faced by MSPs and helping in creating awareness about MS and MSSI. She has also worked on sensitizing medical community and the pharma on misdiagnosis and exorbitant medical cost, as well as she has also anchored workshops on financial independence for MSPs. Next, the second we have, the nominee is this year is Abhishek Trivedi. Now he's a mechanical engineer and he's a member of MSSI Delhi chapter. He has driven from Chandigarh to Kerala on his hand-driven modified car for MS awareness. And this distance is a hobbling, you won't believe it, it's like 3,635 kilometers. So hats off to him. And he has met many MSPs throughout the route and got a lot of coverage from the media. He has also designed a walker which can make any MSP walk, and he will be soon filing a patent for it. And he has also developed a prototype of the same. Next slide. And the third nominee is Nilgiri Naga Deepti. Now, Deepti is a certified yoga instructor and a therapist and a member of MSSI Hyderabad chapter. She is also passionate about spreading awareness on MS. She also holds many painting exhibitions where she displays her artwork through which she creates MS awareness. She also conducts free online yoga classes for MSPs. Next slide. So before we declare the winner amongst them, actually all of them, the three are the winners for us. So a quick recap of the India MS Person Hall of Fame as such. So we started this award in 2018 with Jyoti Ronge being selected as the India MS Person of 2018. Then in 2019, it was Prabal Malakar. Then in 2020, in the year 2020, it was Pankaj Gupta. In the year 2021, it was Anjali Vyas. And in the year 2022, that is the last year, it was Ruchi Sethi Gach. So I now request Ruchi to say a few words as the India MS Person 2022. Over to you, Ruchi.
Thank you, Sanket sir. I'm Dr. Ruchi Gaj from Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. I thank MSSI India for bestowing me the honor of India MS Person 2022. My key focus has been advocacy. Some major issues related to non-availability of correct data on people with MS in India were taken up by me seriously. I've been keenly involved as in awareness and sensitization programs. I wrote letters to central and state disability commissioners as India MS Person 2022 for the inclusion of neurologists in disability assessment. Consequently, many of our MS friends in India were benefited. I'm helping many of our MS friends in procuring the UDIDs. Still, I feel a lot of work has to be done. I wish all the best to all our MS friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchi. Now, this year, the award out of all the three, Javed, next slide. The award of the Indian MS Person of 2023, it goes to Jaya Matthew. So big round of applause for Jaya. And we, on behalf of MSSI, give a big congratulations for her. So that's all from the announcement of this India MS Person. And next, I think I hand over to Renuka Malakar, our National Joint Secretary, for a quick fireside chat with the inspiring MSPs. Over to you, Renuka, ma'am.
Hi, thank you. Good evening and namaste to everyone. I know this is a great event that we started in the COVID when we were not connected with each other. And it also was such a wonderful platform to connect everyone in different parts of India. It has been a wonderful year with the COVID going away from our lives and life sort of returning to normalcy. And we are doing in-person events, but we really thought that why not stay connected virtually? So what we have planned is Sandeep mentioned and Sanket mentioned, this is a very nice way of celebrating each and every champion who is living with MS. It is, of course, a debilitating disease, we believe. It changes your life. But we also believe that it changes a lot of things for the better. And it is the power of the mind. It is the resilience. It is the strength of all the people living with MS, as well as their loved ones, their caregivers, that makes living worthwhile. And rather than reflecting upon all the sad things, it is sad, really. And rather than reflecting only on the downside and the negative side, we draw our strength from so many MS persons who have overcome barriers, who have overcome all their trials and tribulations, and are doing so wonderfully well, be it as a wife, be it as a husband, be it as a young professional, be it as a corporate individual. So really, life does go on. So what we thought was we'll do a quick fireside chat to bring a lot of insights on how each of these people, who I'm going to do a quick sort of when we say a fireside chat, we're going to have an informal discussion and we'll turn the spotlight on them. So we have a couple of people lined up. Let me start by introducing. So what we are going to do is I'm going to talk to 4 people. One is a couple, so that makes it like 3 sets of people. And we're going to hear their story from Unki Kahani, Unki Zabani. So let me introduce, I'm going to bring on shine on the spotlight on Bhavya. And a quick introduction. Hi, Bhavya, lovely to see you again here virtually, though we live in the same part of Delhi NCR.
Yeah, hi, Renuka.
Lovely to see you on the screen and connected with all of us. I'm going to give you a quick intro of yourself, and want you to then they'll hand over the forum to you. So Bhavya, ladies and gentlemen, is a communication strategist with about 14 years of corporate experience. And she specializes in storytelling, prose and visual, brand positioning, and devising and driving impact initiatives. Her life and with MS began about in 2015, April. And she's been living with MS for that long, which means 50% of her professional life so far has been with MS, but she has not let that define what she is in her workspace. So welcome once again, Bhavya. You have another, I think the platform is yours, but just to set the context a little bit, the question that I have for you and what we want to interact and hear from you is that people think that when they have MS and they are a young professional at the threshold of their professional career, which is looking so promising, and MS hits, their world crumbles and they think their future has ended. There is no profession left. There is nothing to do. But you have broken that myth. You have overcome that challenge. So it would be lovely to hear what you have to share with us, what you say, what you advise should be the way forward for young people who are diagnosed with MS in a similar situation like yours. If you could just also structure your talk, and I know you probably do it in a wonderful storytelling way. If you could just structure your next few minutes on how did you overcome the challenge and what is your advice? And what are the things that every young person, a professional like yourself, or a young person who's on the threshold of entering a workforce of an organization can do? It's over to you, Bhavya.
Thanks, Renuka. For some reason, I cannot switch on my video. So if the host can help on that front, that will be great. but I can continue speaking without the video.
Bhavya, are you facing any difficulty in switching on camera?
Yes, when I'm enabling it, it says the host has stopped my video.
Yeah, now you're visible.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, and we'll put this spotlight. Can you spotlight the speaker, please? Javed, there's a way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's your center stage and very visible.
Yeah, I could have avoided the center stage though, but thank you. Like you mentioned, I've had I got diagnosed with MS in 2015, so it's almost more than 50% of the professional life that I've had so far. So I've been working for almost 14 years, and for 8 years I've had MS. To be honest, it wasn't a great diagnosis to begin with, but what helped was the fact that it was an early diagnosis, and it took me almost a year to come to terms with it. And I think that's a time frame that almost all of us, when hit by a diagnosis of such critical illness, we take time to absorb it, to come to terms with it, and then decide how to move forward from there. I think I took a similar amount of time. What helped in my case was, of course, I have a very supportive family and husband. My husband has been an absolute pillar for me, and a good work environment. I think that was the other big element, especially for the past 5 years. The organization that I've been working with, they've been extremely helpful, and all of these factors together, and my own wouldn't discredit myself, so my own personal resilience to want to do, want to work, continue doing what I'm doing, helped me keep myself very active, and also to some extent, continue to grow and be successful in the professional life that I've had. What I would recommend to young professionals would be that, and I have spoken to quite a few who've been diagnosed with this illness, is the fact that it is daunting, it's extremely scary, and it also puts you in a corner of what's like suddenly all the thoughts that you hadn't had to face so far, you're not getting to come to terms with it. It could be a short lifespan, it could be just the kind of medical bills that will pile up, or whatever else that that's going to hit you in your personal life as well. But don't let that break your spirit. I think what's important is to be extremely spirited. If you're not strong and if you're not resilient, no matter which illness it is, it will break you down. It's not just MS, it could be anything. Anything can break you down. So don't. I mean, having that mental strength is extremely important. And that really, that's like half the battle won. If you're mentally strong enough and you're able to take the challenges that come your way head on, I think that itself will, stabilize a lot of things. I've seen that work in my case. There were times when I was almost, I couldn't move my limbs. I was on bed rest for almost 3-4 months. I just had to battle it out and move forward. And thankfully, I've been able to continue being active. And in all cases, it's definitely the mental strength that helped. The other piece would be how active can you be? And by active, it's not just physical action, I mean, moving around, but it's also your, how active are you keeping your brain? Are you engaging in enough activities? And it could not, don't have a monotonous routine. Have a routine, but it should not be the exact same routine every single day. Are you adding something to it? Are you playing even enough games for that matter? I mean, games for me really help me. They engage me in different ways, and it just makes my.
May I request Hema to please switch off your audio? We are again muting, and you are again opening. So please switch off your audio. Thank you. Miss Hema, please switch off your video. Otherwise, we'll have to remove you. Thank you.
So yeah, those are my pieces of advice. Renuka, do you want to take this forward? Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bhavya, you really actually did hit the nail. It's like, don't let your spirits come down. But we also know that all of you and all of us go through a life-altering experience. And I think the God Almighty does give us strength. But the reason why we want to hear from you all is you become our inspiration. You become inspiration to other persons with MS, and you become the wind beneath our wings, which is MSSI, to continue to make it a better world in our small way. So I think, yeah, you have given some amazing tips. Life has to go on, like I said, and like you also have mentioned. You know, it could be blood pressure, it could be diabetes. Today, there is no cure for it, but everybody is managing it so well. So I think the underlying message that I have heard from all the people who have been living with MS is the key is to manage. Do activities, don't make it monotonous, all of which is absolutely valuable and absolutely perfect in making and managing MS. So thank you, Bhavya.
Thanks, Renuka.
So now that brings me to my next set. This is a wonderful story. While we talk about profession, while we talk about young persons, young individuals, while we talk of hope, we talk of love. And when we talk about young, MS is a disease that hits people in their 20s and 30s for women and 30 to 40 in men. This is also the time where there is physical attraction, there is love, there is compassion, passion. But then again, young people go into deep depression when they feel that they don't have a life partner, or their boyfriend or girlfriend is going to leave them, or there's going to be no love. There is a fear of sexual dysfunction. All of these issues are real issues. But there is a couple that has broken every myth that is. Amit and Mrinmoy Goswami are my next speakers. Amit is a professional who's been working with State Bank of India for the last 14 years. I will let him tell you his story in his own words. Mrinmoy also was Mrinmoy had a severe tragedy when she was young, and she was diagnosed with MS in 2015. She lost her parents. She was the only child. Life took a very, very horrible turn for her. And then she joined the Grameen Dark, and she's a biochemistry student, actually. And I will also let you tell her story. But then the Cupid hit, and Mrinmoy and Amit met each other through MSSI Kolkata chapter. And then love blossomed, and then they got married, and they are living happily and continue to live happily. They do some amazing work. He takes his wheelchair, she goes on a ride with him as his companion, as his caregiver. They travel the length and breadth of Kolkata and other places in the Indian Railways. And they have been running a YouTube channel, which I have seen personally and I follow, where they are telling people that life doesn't end. Just continue traveling, enjoy life. And I think everyone needs to hear their story. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to shine the spotlight on Amit and Mrinmoy. Amit and Mrinmoy, I would request you all to share your story. I have just given the tip of the iceberg of how you met, but I think there's a lot more, and how you have overcome all the troubles and the issues. What a supporting family you have. Your in-laws are very supporting. And I remember when I saw your photograph, both of you, you look like Ma Durga to me. And of course, you have a very handsome husband. So life is normal, but it is not easy. And for once, we should not think कुछ भी नहीं है MS, but I think we would like to hear your story. Tell us and tell everyone here what it is that keeps you together and how do you make life so joyful and so enjoyable, and how and what is your message to boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, and couples. It could be partners who don't have, I'm not married, but what's your message? It's over to you, Mrinmoy and Amit.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. We would like to share our story. It was just like a fairy tale dream. For me, I could have managed my MS. I was having diplopia. Though I have taken the steroids and all during 2015, my diagnosis was in that January, and still the problems peered up and it went down. And I was just in second year of my graduation in biochemistry honors. And at that point of time, I had a lot of problem. But the next year, my mom, she had a stroke. And again, father also, he went through lots of problem, and he also was diagnosed with MCA. That's another debilitating disease. And he was to be admitted in ICU. And he was having a very critical condition. My mother, she was going to visit him, and I was also going to my father's office for his last pensions and all problems. And my mother, she had some issues, but she could walk and go with her own only. But she met with a tremendous fatal accident, and she was also being admitted in the same hospital as came. One side was my father in the hospital, and another side was my mother. And I had to do it all by myself. I'm thankful to my uh, uh, peers, my peers in MSSI also. They also came and helped me a lot. But at the end of the day, there should be someone with whom you can take that advice, or you can share, like your best friend. Yeah, my best friend was my mother, and I couldn't share anything with her at her hospital bed. At that point of time, Amit was the person who was always there with me on the phone. He was in bank. He used to hold his phone like this, and he used to he used to say that my hand is working. I don't need any other thing, but I need to be with you at that point of time. And he was the person with whom at that point of time I need a emotional security. I obviously needed financial also, but that point of time, emotional security, emotional uh, that trauma, I couldn't say anybody. And obviously, a person with MS, the problem becomes more mightier. The problem becomes more critical. And everybody told that it could be that due to the trauma, due to the tensions, my MS could also become worse. So that was the point of time from where we joined. I actually thought I couldn't live my life in this way when my mother also left me alone to go to his heavenly abode after my father. And today I am very I will say I haven't said it till now, but today I will say at that point of time I was in a very bad addiction also. I became a very bad chain smoker. And from that position, he was the person who took me out, He was the person who I got that joy, because I always had that problem that I couldn't save my mother. I always felt that guilt inside myself. But he was the person who told that, okay, I will go to meet you from Kalyani. to Kolkata, it's a long distance through the train. Can you see for me how the Shialda station in Kolkata is, so that I can travel with wheelchair? And Shialda station is not very near to my house, my maiden home, but still I could take a cab or a bus and I could go and visit that place. And I, from there, those little things, those little things actually changed me inside of me. Those little things when he could finally visit from Kalyanu to Kolkata through the local train. So we thought about forming the YouTube channel Being on Wheels, so that for the persons, because he also knew many people uh, in his maiden hometown, in his hometown, Kalyani, there were a lot of people who were not so financially established. I remember a person, a little boy, not very little, like he was also a college student or something like that. He met with an accident while climbing on a tree. He fell down. He had a spinal cord injury, and that person, he couldn't go and visit the doctors regularly because he couldn't avail the cab every time, because every time availing the cab for a distance of 80 to 100 kilometers can cost you near about 1000 to 2500 and all. And a person who is a डेली मजदूर, जो क्या कहते हैं ना, हम डेली मजदूर जिनको कहते हैं, तो उन लोगों के लिए, for them it's not so easy. So we thought about forming something for these people who are actually not only God didn't look at their health condition, but also their financial condition, for them to support themselves. That also they cannot do. So the public transport needs to be made wheelchair accessible. Apart from having, because Amit was being diagnosed with MS since 2003, as far as I know. Yeah. Since 2003, when he was in class 11 only in class 11, a boy of class 11. So from then, it was like debilitating. Then again, he could walk. Again, it was okay, normal. He could ride his scooty, he could ride his cycle, he could play cricket and all. Again, suddenly after joining SBI in 2009 January, he had that tremendous problem, tremendous relapse he had. That is in November 2009. And finally, he became paraplegic. Now he is totally paralyzed waist down. And I have heard it from him and my mother-in-law also, how many times he has undergone the knives. He underwent the knives. He had several surgeries, several operations in different parts of India. He had operations. First of all, in Kolkata only twice the operation was not so good. He had to again come here, where we are now in Chennai and Vellore. He had operations here also, there also, but he had to go through all this trauma. And finally, the worst part is not being on wheelchair, but the problems he is now having is of that everybody, those are paraplegic, we all know, those are paralyzed waist down. They are having a tremendous issue with their urinary problems. Because we all with MS, the debilitating demyelinating conditions, we all have this bladder and bowel problems. But for these people who are already in the paraplegic or paraplegia mode, they have it very bad, and they have to undergo ICC or something like this. A type of catheterization had to be made for them. And for him, the ICC, he couldn't continue it in this way, in the normal way, because since 2009 to 2016 and all, he was having the normal ICC and all. But at that point of time, some injury had occurred, and for that he had to undergo operation. And for that reason, he was being he is on SPC. SPC is a thing many know. most of the people don't know that he has an orifice just below his belly button. On the bladder region, orifice is there, a hole is being made through which a catheter is passed, and he has to change it. He changes it by himself only. He has to change it every month. Within 21 to 30 days, he has to change it. It's very hectic thing. The doctors also tell it, we have to be totally in the hospital-like condition. It's all the things are very hectic. He is having a job. I say that I can walk, I can see. My problems are not so very debilitating now. I am in a remitting stage. So let me work also, because during my I had to quit my job of the postal department. I got the job after the graduation. I appeared for the job and I got the job. I cracked the exam, I got the job. But at that point of time, we had that probationary period of 3 years, and the corona time I couldn't continue my job, because the banking and the postal sector didn't get any holiday, didn't get any leave at that period of time. So for me, because we don't, he has it due to his paraplegia, he has that what do you say, certificate of but I don't have that thing, the disability certificate. So I didn't get that holiday and all, and I had to quit my job. I'm very I'm very sad for that. Always I think so. But yeah, whenever you get in some way you are having you are stuck, you should get another way out. And I thought, since I have quitted my job in postal department, I should think of the thing in different way. And I thought, okay, let's make a YouTube channel. Let's make something for the betterment of the other people who are in a bad condition, worse condition than us. So we try to run our channel on YouTube, the Being on Bills. Many of us are subscribers. Thank you for that. And I also am I write poetry since my childhood, and I thought, okay, let me focus on that part of mine, because if I get the time, I should do something better. So I write at that point of time. I thought, okay, let me focus on writing, and I write. And we got we are very happy. We are very happy to announce that we are the first MS couple of India. Thank you, everyone. But we had to tie our knot in the year 2020, July 12th, 2020. And because we couldn't wait, I was all alone in my maiden home, and he was always like, you are alone, and anytime any problem can occur. At that point of time in 2020, just the onset of corona, we had no idea what is corona, what is COVID-19, how bad it could be, how worse it could be. But he then thought, no, it's high time, we should now tie our knot. Over to you.
That's a lovely way to transition into your journey to the alone each other's journey to how you tied the knot. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm so happy that you handed it over to Amit, because I have seen Amit also.
Amit is waiting. Amit is
yes,
also waiting.
Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you all. It's very much thankful for MSSI for our Jodi is only possible due to MSSI Kolkata. Thank you for MSSI Kolkata.
Thank you to
Anuradhadi. Otherwise, I could not meet my life partner. Life is very much tough for us, but now we are very happily married and live our best now in Vellore. I transferred to Vellore last year. So thank you all. Thank you MSSI and especially MSSI Kolkata.
Now, another thing I want to just add at last, because we thought, okay, we are having bad times, we're having difficulties, everything is against us. Let us let us turn the table upside down, so that we can make our greatest cars to the greatest boon we can think of. So MS, for that part only, my father's, my parents' doctors also told, my father's doctor especially told that he was having a tremendous tension, tremendous problem. So that for that reason only, he and she, both of them had stroke and all those things, just because of their only child, because she is undergoing through so much trauma, so much problems. So I always thought, yeah, MS is the culprit. MS took away my parents from me. But I then thought, okay, let me turn the tables upside down. Let me play with my own fate and make my greatest curse my greatest boon. And I will suggest everyone, you can also think the same way. Turning our curse to our boon is what can we do, is what we can do. Otherwise, only lamenting and only in a melancholy tone. In MS, we are always having a depression, we are always having a melancholy situation, we are always having a melancholy tone in our mind. If we can challenge our own fate, okay, I am challenging you, I can turn you upside down and I can enjoy. You are trying to make me cry, but no, I will enjoy. I will laugh, I will smile, and I will turn you upside down. So if we tell it to our own fate, we will get that confidence, we will get that boost, and we will always be happy. No matter what the problems come, what the problem arise in front of us. I think it in this way. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Lovely. That is absolutely so true, Mrinmay and Amit. And ladies and gentlemen, for all those people who don't know, Amit was awarded the best employee of the state by the West Bengal government. And I remember seeing his news article in the papers. And it all happened after he got married. So true, Mrinmay, is together you turned the table, together you turned your curse into boon. And so lovely that you people have started this YouTube channel for people who don't have any support. And some of the chats that are coming on the window is asking for you to share your YouTube link, please. You will have many more subscribers right after this webinar. I'm quite sure.
Madam, another thing I just want to add. Just want to disturb just a minute. I want to add that after 14 long years, Amit has finally driven his scooty by himself. After modifying the scooty, after modifying the extra wheels to his scooty, so with the back support and the support in his paraplegic legs, he has again started driving the scooty just like a king on his chariot.
Very nice. Lovely. That's an amazing feat.
Thank you, madam.
Very nice. Very nice. A lot of people are saying kudos. A lot of people are asking for your YouTube channel link. Please paste it here if you can. Otherwise,
Okay.
we will definitely share it with all our chapters, and I'm sure you'll have a lot more subscribers. So what I was saying is that this YouTube channel is such an amazing thing. I mean, for people who have financially are not well off, people who can't travel, who slowly their world starts shrinking, you have opened a whole new door for them to see that life can go on. But one of the most important aspects is when you have so much trouble and you have everything becomes livable and bearable when you have a person right next to you who loves you, who cares for you, and you can share all your worries with this one person. So may God bless you both with a very, very happy, long married life. And may you continue to be an inspiration to all the couples that are watching and also those who will see you. in the future. So thank you very much for sharing your lovely, inspiring story with us. So we are doing okay on time. Let me introduce you to my last inspiring, but not the least, but a very, very resilient young individual called Mukul Shehrawat. So what I remember last year, I got a message from this young boy, and he said, you know, I am studying to be a doctor, and well, I can't find his resume, which I mean, a small little brief, but I think it is imprinted in my brain. So I'll speak from my mind and my heart. So Mukul reached out and said, I'm doing this research and I want to be a part of MSSI. And the way he spoke, there was so much of steel in his voice. And I said, this can only be someone who's had a very structured, disciplined lifestyle. And lo and behold, I realized that he has his parents. He grew up in an Air Force station. He studied and played, was a cricketer and represented the state of Rajasthan, and his school, I think, KVS. Excuse me. And then his father wanted to be a sportsman, but I think his father wanted him to be a doctor. And that's when he got into medical school. I think it was Manipal. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Mukul, when I hand over the floor to you, and apologize if I'm getting any of it wrong. And then he's doing this study, which is going to really help so many of us. I think the study and the research that he's doing is called pharmacoeconomics and the cost burden of DMTs and therapies for treatment in MS. And I think he has submitted it. Last time when I spoke with him, he was getting ready to submit it to ICMR, which is, I mean, to do a research paper, you have to first have ICMR accepted. Only then you can do a research like this. So at that time, I was just so inspired by listening to Mukul's story that I said, you know, at some point, at some place, you need to come and share your story of courage, your story of inspiration, so that young people who are in very, very difficult, trying education courses like engineering, medicine, studying for IAS, these are all high pressure, high tension courses that you have to put in a lot of brain work. And then on top of that, you have MS in your mind to deal with. So I would now like to welcome you, Mukul. I hope I have captured whatever you are in your life in a not so wrong but correct way. But my question, and please do structure your discussion to your insights on how do you break the barriers? What do you advise the youngsters? How do they break the barrier of continuing to do everything that they want in life, even when MS comes your way? You're somebody who has, when life has thrown a lemon at you, you have made lemonade out of it. So tell us your story and give us some tips. It's over to you. The platform is yours.
Well, thank you, Renuka ma'am. Very good evening to everyone present here. Well, gotta say, Renuka ma'am, you are a brilliant orator. And yeah, your memory seems to be much better than mine, to be honest. So yes, I don't know where should I start. Maybe I think I should start with my MS journey itself. So I was a good cricketer till 2015, and I played for the state of Rajasthan and for the district of Sonipat in Haryana. And after that, there was a sudden change in my game, a sudden and drastic change. Like I couldn't keep up with the game, and I was worried about what is happening to me. At that point in my time, my dad was like, "Why don't you try focusing on some studies for a while? Why don't you try becoming a doctor?" And I was like, well, your wish is my command and I got to do what you tell me. So yeah, I followed him. I studied hard and I tried to get into the colleges. But I belong to the state of Haryana. The competition in medicine is like super steep over there. We had like 400 MBBS seats back then. And I thought of myself that someone who is capable of entering the game, but well, to my surprise, I did not actually clear it through in Haryana, the state of Haryana. But the state of Karnataka accepted me with wide arms open, and I took my admission here. Little did I realize that there was an organic brain disease behind it. And in first year, by the end of my first year of MBBS, I was having paresthesias of the face and the head and the trigeminal neuralgia, the steeping pain that MS people get. So yeah, at that time, after some saw a hint of medical knowledge, I knew that there's something neurologically wrong, and I need to visit a neurologist for this. And that's when they told me that you need to go and MRI scan, and I underwent it. And that's when I saw the lesions, I saw the diagnosis. I knew at that time, I didn't know what MS was, to be honest with you all, but I knew anything with multiple before it is not good. It's not good. So yeah, that was a surprise of sort, but yeah, that gave me a lot of clarity to my shortcomings academically or in sports wise, and yeah, that really relieved actually a lot of stress and burden in my own senses to like what was wrong with me. So in fact, yeah, afterwards the path has been very simple, to be honest, and I knew what I have to do in my life. And at the same point in time, around in the second year of MBBS, I was presented with this opportunity of a research ICMR short-term studentship program. I got to know about it. My student union came up to me. They were like, "Do you want to do this research?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to do it." I even knew the topic. The professors were like, "We'll give you a topic. You can do that topic under us." No, if I'm going to do this research, I select my topic. Because when I got diagnosed, I was, as everyone, I was going through these phases of denial, bargaining, anger, anxiety, depression. And I kept scratching the whole of internet, looking in every corner to look for information about the medications, the treatment options, all that is available to us. And to my surprise, there is such a massive lacunae of this knowledge, particularly for the country of India. Like all of the literature is from Europe and the United States and all the outer countries, not from India. So at that point in time, I knew that, it's just not me who is suffering, it's everyone who is diagnosed, who has been diagnosed with MS. So yeah, the heavy cost of managing the disease, every relapse, every hospital admission that came along, that was, well, a big burden on my parents too. So I got into it. I knew that, I need to find out a solution to this. Patients need to be better advised. Patients should be able to analyze their own financial status and should be able to select their own medication, their treatment, which aligns to their lifestyle, to their finances, and to all the support that they have in general from the family and friends. So that's when I formulated this study model, which included the pharmacoeconomics of the study, the quality of life of every MS patient, every MS participant in my study, and all the in general cost and cuttings which were made by the participants. And well, the response from all of the participants through MSSI obviously was so massive. It was so awesome. I never thought that I will get. In fact, I had stated only a patient load of 50 in my study design, and I was so surprised when I got an enrollment of over 150 participants. Like I was really surprised. Like I never imagined I will be able to do this much in India. And I tried my best. I was able to interview about 100 of them, and that data that I received from everyone, it was so massive. Took me about 6 months to assort it, to analyze it, to formulate a report out of it. And yeah, I submitted it to ICMR. It got accepted in April of 22. And since then, I have been presenting it in various research conferences. I presented it in AFMC, the 2022 Illuminati Research Conference of Armed Forces Medical College, one of the most premier institutes of India. So thanks to you all, your all contributions, our study has received in that research conference as the best study in the field of pharmacology and the second best study overall for that year. And after that, it was also presented in KIMS Hubli Synergia Research Conference. Over there also, it received various accolades for the study design and for the approach to pharmacoeconomics, because, you know, not much such studies are done in India. That's all I want to say about the study. And now I will focus on the part of the disease itself. I do understand that it is really hard to cope up with such a disease. It's really hard to, you know, get up and inspire yourself every day to just keep going. But to my surprise, when I talked to so many participants of MS, to be honest, I did not expect this degree of positivity. I was mind blown. These peoples were not just fit, they were thriving. And they were doing so much more better than the general patients that I see in my medical college every day. They were so much better. They were physically fit. They were mentally so sound. They were so organized, so oriented. And yeah, that has just motivated me to keep up with the work that I'm doing, just to keep looking forward to all the aspects that I want to achieve in my life. And overall, it was really overwhelmingly good experience. I was so humbled by the outlook and the view of these people. And yeah, it just changed the whole outlook of mine towards life.
Thank you so much, Mukul. Yeah, even I picked up that word, you know, you're thriving and everyone is thriving. So before I hand it over back to Sandeep, I want to just quickly summarize all the three inspiring segments that we of people that I had this fireside chat with. And like me, I think everyone, sabke rongte khade ho gaye honge. Everybody must have had goosebumps just listening to their stories. Funny part is when you say story, it feels like a myth, but these are real life experiences which we are hearing as a story. And 2-3 things that I have taken away from all of the chats that I've had is, one, if you look at someone like Bhavya, and if you look at professionals who are in the corporate world, life goes on. We must be able to create a platform where every corporate knows about invisible symptoms, and that ability defines a person and not disability. And how do we articulate that in the corporate world? Because in the corporate world, it's all about return over investment, human resource deployment has a cost to company, but they are just as valuable, if not more valuable than the rest. The second thing that I took away from my second two people, Amit and Mrinmoy, is that love conquers all. And I did see a message saying MS conquers love, something like that. Yes, it does, because when you have love, compassion, and togetherness, you can face the world, and all troubles will seem manageable. And I think couples, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, parents who got marriageable girls, marriageable boys should not fear, because they ought to have, and it is their right to have good life and a life of dignity. So that's the second message. And again, we need to have a forum where we can talk about this in a larger segment and not within MSSI or MS community. And the third takeaway I had was, you know, it is so important that people with MS, which is a long-term chronic neurological disorder and has many other related issues, we as individuals must have the right to choose which treatment according to my budget. We are so desperate and so vulnerable that, and there is a saying in Hindi, marta kya na karta. So we go to the best doctors, we choose the most expensive drugs, and life doesn't change. So I wish there was, and there will be, a time where we can have doctors who completely understand the limitations that a normal person with MS goes through, when there is no disability certificate, when there's no insurance, when there is no financial support. I wish there will be a forum through MSSI that will talk about the need to have ability to access affordable treatment, affordable drugs based on one's own financial bandwidth. So those are the 3 takeaways I had, and also from these 3 segments, and I think we've covered it, and I think it's past time. I don't know how much time we have, but I didn't want to stop this, but congratulations once again to all the winners. All the winners, you have a lot to do. My only other request is, Mukul, if you have your research paper, please do share it with MSSI, and let us, we have an advocacy forum, which is a compilation of all chapter members. It would be nice to put that message out, and let's start talking about affordable treatment for MS. And it's a research paper done by an MS for MS. So why not? Please do look up the Dupre and the McDonald Fellowship, which is coming up for medical students. You need to go there. You ought to be a part of that. So with that, thank you very much. This is the end of the Fireside Chat. It's back to you, Sanket.
Thank you, Renuka ma'am. We have finally, I would request Arun Mohan to do the vote of thanks, please. Arun, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Sanket. I am sorry I wouldn't be able to switch on the video, so I would like to continue without the video on today. And at the onset, my heartiest congratulations to Jaya and to all the other winners who have been part of the India MS Person of the Year award, and Amit and Deepthi. The world has not come to an end. You guys are the rock stars. Jaya has always been a rock star, so I wouldn't talk about Jaya, but Jaya has always been a rock star. And I want to thank Sandeep for conducting this event, and it is a pleasure. I wouldn't say thanking everybody, but I must thank Renuka as always. She was awesome too, and I want to thank Bhavya, Amit, Murmoy, and Mukul for the splendid talk that you guys have given, and so inspiring. So you've shown us a way to lead a very happy and normal life to a lot of MSPs in India. And thank you so much, everybody, for this wonderful event. And thank you, Sanket, for giving me this opportunity to talk. Thank you so much.
May I request you all to please switch on your camera so that we could take a group photograph.
फोटोग्राफ में आवाज नहीं आएगा, बात कर सकते हैं. Just joking.
Renuka, that was good. Very nice.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm sure there are
Thank
many
you.
other hidden stars. Let's bring them all out like this on a regular basis, all of you. This
Yes,
is a really
correct.
wonderful program.
Yes, we should.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Thank you very much. A wonderful evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.